And hi, everybody. We are live. Hello, everybody. Help me welcome Terry from at Holding Your Space. My first time on my channel, so thank you for joining me, Terry. It's so nice to finally have you
Oh,
on.
thank you for having me on, and thank you for jumping on with me earlier this
Oh
week or
yes, that
last
was so
week.
much fun. So
That was
yeah,
so kind of you.
I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that, and I'm like, oh good, I get to read with get to hang with her, get to read with her before our
I
show.
loved it.
So
I loved it. It was perfect. It was
yes, and
perfect.
thank you for thinking highly of me to invite me on. That was very kind of you. So
Oh,
just want to say,
well, always, always. Yeah, thanks for having me here.
wow, yeah, this is yeah, I've been waiting a long time for this because like I tell a lot of people, for the last couple months, I just been watching other channels and meeting new people, and every time I would watch, whether you do one of your videos or you're with somebody, I always loved that energy, you know. I mean,
Oh,
I always she's so glowing, and people are like, yeah, it's the light behind her. I'm like, no, she's got that beautiful inner glow that you
oh.
see, and I always like the energy. And so I was like, okay, there's certain people now I'm really resonating with that I would love to invite to my channel, and so thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. And I feel like I kind of went through that this um, summer too, where I
Hmm.
was trying to grow the channel. And then I was like, "Okay, let's take a step back here and look at, who really resonates and what I really want with my channel."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I think a
Mm.
lot of us went through that this summer. Relationship changes, friendships that came, friendships that I thought I would never lose, gone. And it, even though people really didn't see it, there were times when things were very traumatic for me. And at one point I was going to cancel my channel and just say, I just don't want to keep doing. But then it's very, don't do that. And I'm glad I didn't because the other day I finally hit 600 after 2 years in my channel. So, yeah, long time coming for that number. So, all of my subscribers, people who are coming in, I'm going to start saying hi to people shortly. But just to thank everybody who watches also on playback. Thank you for supporting me and my channel and helping me get to this beautiful milestone. So, just really quick, let's start saying hi to a few people. I got Fatima. Hello, my dear. Um, Bella, My Soul's Journey, Heather and Hi Terry. And let's see, Sharon Rue. I call her Sharon Rue. So
I love
Sharon,
that, Sharon
yeah,
Rue.
Rue. Hello, Natalie. Good to see you. Nancy Riker. Oh, we got 10 people already. KK,
Yay.
which is Carrie. I keep saying Carrie, but it's Carrie. Hello, Carrie. Just think of Heather, think of Carrie Fisher. Just think of that. Think of your princess. Gerald. Hello, Gerald. Gerald is actually going to be joining Allison and I this evening for our Friday show. It's called Spook. Get Your Spook On, and we're going to be talking about haunted locations that are near us or around us or places we've been to. And we're also going to have people, talk about places in their area and from where they're at. Put that in chat and maybe have some fun and just pull a few cards and see what we get. So it'll be fun. I want to do something a little different. So thank you, Gerald, for joining us for that. And we
It
have
sounds like fun.
Nancy,
Hey,
and I think I'm
Nancy.
caught up with everybody. All righty. So, blessings to you, Fatima. She's so lovely.
She's
And
so
if
sweet.
you see someone pop in chat called Odelia Medeiros, that is her sister. So her and her sister both, like to join us on our and also Fatima started her own channel as well.
Yeah, she told me. Fatima, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I went over and, subscribed, but I still
Good.
need to get back over. I've
Yeah.
been running lately, so
Well,
I
I've
haven't
been
been
subscribing to so
doing very
many
much.
people. There's so many new channels, and it's just like there's not enough time in the day. So it's like, okay, what do I have a few minutes for? Okay, let's just watch a few minutes here and then try to, yeah. But our community, yes.
Yeah, there's so many great people in the
Hmm.
community. So it's amazing because the chat, all the best chatters, right, Gerald?
Yeah,
So it's
most
like,
definitely.
yeah, and there's so much information in the chat that they should all be having their own channel.
I mean, they're very everyone. I think everybody who comes to our channels or part of our community, whether they feel that they're readers or not, I think they're drawn there because intuitively they know that they have the abilities themselves, or they may not have known it, and they're trying to figure out why they're drawn to. And that's and some decide not to, but there's others that were like Callie Healer. I
Yeah.
think when 2 years ago, I think I met Callie Healer. I can't think of what her. I can't remember what her name is. There's
Kelly.
so many. Oh, it's Kelly. So it's Kelly
Yeah.
for Callie Heal. Okay, because there's so many. Like I said, so many channels. Now I'm trying to remember everybody's name, and I remember my first real exposure, besides watching some of Maurice Table, Linda G, and Cash Peters, was Nasty Women on Tuesdays with Sharon and Lisa from Spirit
Yeah.
Intuitive
I
with
remember
Lisa
that.
Smith, and that's where all of us, most of us, record of us in there. We were all just there to watch the show, to have laughs, and then within the year, Sherry H, Voices from the Swamp, she started her channel. I finally took the plunge, did mine. I remember also with Debbie Freebird Spirit. I remember watching with her and Denise, seeing Kelly here. So we are all finally starting to take, and then Sharon did her, renamed her channel and did her own. So it's just been, I know I say ums a lot, people. It's just me processing my thoughts. I keep asking my guys to help me think of another word than that. So it's
I do that all
just,
the time too. And well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll finish a live, and Shan doesn't do this to me anymore, but he'll say, he goes, you know how many times you said, like, well, I'm processing my thoughts. That's the only word that comes to me. Hi, Annie Bear, Seven Feathers. Welcome, my dear. I saw that you just subscribed. Thank you so much. Looking forward to having Annie Bear join me. Jeff Bailey, Tarot Ask Backwards. They're both poets, and Jeff's been. Oh, that's right. We were going to do the poetry. What we were going to call that, the poetry slam or something. The tarot poetry slam. Terry and I were talking about that
I love that. Yeah.
recently. So once we start getting into November, and maybe within the holidays, maybe have some fun and do that. But yeah, a lot of people, they just think it's the paintings, but for me, since a child, I've done nothing but like writing poetries and short stories and doing crafting things and stuff. So it's, oh, no thanks. Oh, okay, Annie Bear, that's okay. Not a problem.
You always know where you are with Annie.
Yes, and I like that.
I do too. I love
Hello,
that.
Lady Silver. Oh, and she
Mm.
changed it with a little dash now. 1111. Hello.
Ah,
You're
I
trying to
like
be
that,
brave.
Lady
Oh,
Silver.
you can do it. But you know what, Annie? When the time is right and it feels right, you'll know, and that's when you'll do it.
Yeah.
I took, because I kept doing that. I kept going, oh, maybe late, and then one day it was just like I felt like that energetic, almost kind of like push, like just do it. And I took the plunge, and then when I was done, it was like, wow, when do I do it again? Because once you do it, you know, like jumping to the pool, oh my God, it's cold. But then when you jump in, oh, it feels so good. So
It's so much easier to do a live than it is a recorded, I think now.
see, for me, I feel more comfortable doing a live than a recording,
Yeah, I do
because then
too.
it's like I feel weird because I'm like talking to myself, and I there's so much I could be doing more with my channel, but it just feels awkward to me to do. And I would love to be able to get one of those fancy little camera setups where you can hang this over here, do this, come in and out. But at some point, I will. Let's see. I think we got a couple more people coming in. Pisces Greeter, hello, TK. And yes, she will share her philosophies and things live with us soon. But the videos that she has posted where she reads her poetry, absolutely beautiful. And she bought herself flowers today.
Oh, Annie, I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
What kind of flowers? For fall, I just love when people start selling the mums and you see the deep lines and the oranges and the yellows and then the sunflowers. So
Yeah,
anything fall is my favorite time of year.
it's
And
beautiful.
yes, what do you love the most about fall?
Um, Letting go. I think I love the burst of color. It's like
Hmm.
transcendence, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's all gone. So
Yeah.
it's like just being present because and sometimes you look at something, you think, "I gotta get as much as I can right now because it's gonna be gone," instead of just being
Yeah.
boom, really enjoying it. Yeah. Annie Bear bought a
A
whole
whole
bunch of them.
bunch of dark pink
Pink
carnations.
oh, how beautiful.
Ooh,
Yeah.
very nice. And she
Yeah.
goes, I recorded some orbs outside this morning.
They
Ooh.
were incredible, Annie. Incredible.
Oh, so she shared them. I'll have to go over and see.
I
And just
yeah.
like fall, letting go. I got to
Yeah.
pull my deck because when I knew when I
Wow.
was going to have Terry on, I was just like, this is a beautiful time of year, and this is my favorite time of year because I could. I don't know if it's necessarily because the veils are thinning, but for me, I feel like I'm in my power at this time of year. I mean, my birthday's in December, but for me, I'm surprised I wasn't born, in the autumn, because that's where I feel, I get inspired with my art, with the colors, and it feels like it's the perfect time for, and it is Samhain for, indigenous, early peoples of Europe. Samhain, honoring your ancestors. So yes, I think that could very well be with the veils being thin, and just for me, it's a beautiful time to just kind of reevaluate, spiritually, where I'm at, and moving forward into winter before kind of hunkering down and start doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of shadow work and things. I'm trying to watch how many ums I say now. Sometimes it's like you're supposed to
I
say
don't hear them at all.
But for me,
Oh,
someone before said they said the most beautiful thing. That's why I love Pinterest. You get some of these beautiful quotes, and it was like last year, the year before. It said trees show us just how beautiful it is to let things go,
oh, I love that. That's
and
beautiful.
that's one of the beautiful things. I wanted to have a conversation with Terry about what she loves about the fall, and you know, what do you feel like you're going to be letting go of?
Um, well, a
That
lot.
you feel comfortable sharing, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, sure, sure. So my daughter just came home from being away for, well, basically 5 years, maybe longer, um, or 6 years, but she's been back on and off just for short visits, but she's here for at least 6
Mhm.
months now, I think.
Oh,
And, before she left, we went through a big transition and my husband passed. So, so it's been like 6 or 7 years almost. So, that she's been traveling, but, so it's like time to kinda heal that part, and talk about it, and it's just kind of a beautiful thing. But also, I love what you said about, letting go of things, and, I like the cool air that comes in. I love,
mhm.
love, love that and the freshness of it, and I feel like it's just blowing out all the junk.
Yes.
And sometimes when I look at energy, I see, like, the smoke around war and the smoke around,
Mm.
or charcoal film that comes around, like, sometimes around politics or around business or certain parts of the country that are going through conflict. And
Mhm.
I just see that fresh air just it's so nice to breathe it in and just blow
Yes.
it out and heal.
And tomorrow is Annie Bear's birthday.
Annie Bear, happy
This isn't the
birthday.
birthday, but she just wanted to give you gentle hugs in regards to being
Mm,
children. So yeah. But
thanks.
and yep. Hey, Stephen, this is Cosmic Orphan. Stephen has a channel, does wonderful flip throughs of decks, and
Oh,
he's been doing
nice.
individual cards. And so go check out his channel. And Stephen, if you want to go ahead, because you are a mod, put in your channel and anybody else who would like to have their channel, and make sure that Stephen, if you have time, if you could toss some Teri's in there as well. Teri's channel link is all in the description, and so I'm gonna make sure that.
Thank you. Yeah, Cosmic Orphan. I'm gonna write that down. I'll sub you Cosmic Orphan.
And Steven's from the South, and when you listen to him talk, it's just like that beautiful Southern honey. And I could just sit there and listen to. I love accents.
Mhm.
And he meant I love when Richie Lawman was on, and when Ben's on, and especially because they're different acts and talking with Jackie, and the way Ben says hi Heather, it's just so beautiful hearing my name being said. And then with Jackie, then there's Chris in Scotland, and oh boy, the Heather, I
It
just love
is
a man with an accent.
it is lovely, isn't it? It is
Very
lovely.
much so. Hope I'm not embarrassing you, Stephen, but yeah, he has a wonderful channel. Does a lot of wonderful flip throughs, introduces you to, different decks that I've never heard of,
Oh, I
and
could use
just
that.
shared yesterday some beautiful stones and crystals along with some cards that he was doing. Just very nice.
Wow.
Um, and I'm looking to see if anyone shared anything. Oh, TK is going to be 60 next year in March.
Teresa, we're gonna have to
Ooh.
do something big for you.
Oh yes, because she's
That's
always supporting us, most
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
Let's
hugs,
see.
Teresa.
So Annie Bear's getting a lot of happy birthday wishes, and Sharon said, "As a teacher, I always love the autumn, new beginnings." Yes,
That's beautiful, Sharon.
yeah. It's breathing out that hot, humid, stale air with that cool breeze. It's so very refreshing. It really is.
It really
And for
is.
me, living in Western New York, by the time March comes around, it's like, okay, let's get to spring. I don't like the summers. I don't like the heat. If we could have like 6 months of spring and 6 months of fall, oh, I'd be such a happy girl. I really
Yeah,
would be.
yeah, I feel the same. I like this spring and summer, it's the best.
Ooh, her birthday's the 15th. The Ides in March.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. My
Nice.
Shan is the 13th, and he was actually born on Friday the 13th. So,
Really?
yep, nothing but good luck for me.
Yeah, really good luck. My sister was born on Friday the 13th.
Was she?
Yeah, good luck.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, with the leaves, wow. That's what I wanted to. This one deck I have by Denise Lynn is called the Sacred Forest Oracle. They're just absolutely beautiful, and I just wanted to share some of the cards. The maple, generosity, also the raven, truth, because we're focusing on Halloween and everything's spooky, right? But these animals, nature, they all have such powerful medicine for us, and so much beautiful lessons that we can learn, and the things that they teach. And I just wanted to share some of my favorite cards from that deck. And again, Spirit Guardian of Autumn, learning how to let go.
Oh, she's stunning.
Isn't she?
Yeah,
I
I
just
love
love the
that.
cards in this deck. And I don't know, the smell of the leaves. Oh, and another thing I used to love about fall when I was a little girl was we would go and find chestnuts. We get our little bag, and we
Wow.
go out and we would walk, up and down, the street, couple of the streets up blocks, and we would pick up the chestnuts. And it didn't matter how many I had. It was like grabbing everyone. And while people are, playing with toys and stuff, I was playing with chestnuts. I was playing with acorns. I was outside. I mean, I had no idea, you know, back then until I got older, and I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now.
Yeah,
Why I'm so
right?
much with nature. And then
Yeah.
and I would take, my Barbies, and I go, come on, Barbie, let's go play in the mud, and let's go make some, let's go stir the water that's outside. Let's throw some things in there. I mean, come on. But
Oh, Vadim is cooking dinner and watching. Yeah. Yeah, so we
ooh,
had, woods behind me and a
hi
cornfield on
Sylvia.
the side when I was growing up, and that's what we did. We were always
Mhm.
out in the woods playing. The New World, we called it.
The
which
new world.
is kind of what where we're headed, right?
Yeah. So for me, I being growing up in the country, we had a cider, mill that used to be in operation, and we would
Oh,
go and
yeah.
get fresh pressed cider and just go for walks in the woods, and you can smell the leaves. And when my dad would, rake them up and jumping into them, and I would just lay there and just cover myself up, and I would just like lay there and just smell the leaves.
Oh,
So everything, yeah,
love it. How beautiful.
sweaters, our sweat jackets, perfect time of year. Yeah.
It's nice. I keep my window open too, when I sleep at night until, like, December at least.
Mm.
Just cracked, but yeah, I like that fresh air.
And what they put the heat up on so high in this building too that I'm probably going to be and going through menopause, so probably keeping that window a crack, having the fan going. But at some point, yeah, we'll have to keep that.
Yeah.
But this the snow will be here, and it's pretty,
Mhm.
until Christmas, or it could snow on Christmas Eve, and then after that it can stop. But where I'm at, having a birthday, in December, you never knew if you had a birthday party if it was going to have to be canceled because there was going to be a snowstorm.
Oh, well, are you by Buffalo, kind of?
Yeah, I'm actually from the I'm originally from Williamsville, which is a suburb of Buffalo. And so growing up, after my mom left my dad, we were moving all around the Buffalo area. And then I lived in a couple of other, places briefly with a friend, but made Flagstaff, Arizona, my home for almost about 8 years. And then briefly lived in New Hampshire, then came back to New York, and we've been here ever since. And we're up in the falls right now. So, not ideally where I want to be, because of the world is changing, and unfortunately there's a lot of gangs that have now moved into the city. The
Oh,
politicians you know are not as honest. Businesses are closing. There's a lot of violence, and a couple of friends of mine had to move because they loved the city and they had built a home and remodeled it and was trying to do what they could in the community. And thank goodness she wasn't in her vehicle that night, but someone went by and did a drive by, and her car got all shot up. And if she had
no.
been in it, she wasn't the target, but it's just this random, So
I'm so sorry.
the economy, everything is really falling apart in a lot of places around the world. And I have to excuse myself. She's digging at the door. I will be
Yeah,
right back.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead. Annie, I'm so excited for you. You got a bouquet of flowers delivered from your husband. That was so kind of him. How sweet. Morgue in the void. Morgue. Sorry. Morgue? Morgue? I never pronounce things right. I love that name though. It's Celtic, yeah? Looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. Well, yeah,
Morgan the Void. Yes.
morgue in the void. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I pronounced it incorrectly.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we did also have Sylvia, Colorful Foresight. Oh, that's not her, but yeah, Sylvia joined us, and she's cooking dinner as well. Sorry,
Oh, yum.
everybody. Everyone knows my Ziva. She wants in, and it's just like, nope, mommy's got to do her thing. So,
Does she,
um,
meow like a baby?
oh yeah, and she'll take her claws and she'll start digging and banging at the door.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Mine will too. They'll open the door. My cat. Yeah,
yeah.
real name is Morgan. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, how is it?
Morgan. Yeah, that's
Oh, so it's not.
beautiful.
Oh, her real name is Morgan. Okay, I was thinking, oh, all this time I've been saying her name wrong, her tail name wrong, but Morgan, beautiful.
Yeah.
I understand now. Very nice.
Do you pronounce it Morgan or Morgan? Because, Morgan, she looks like it's probably that Lady of the Lake energy,
Yes. Well,
but
I believe, I know I had a past life in Avalon, or in and around that time. So, one of my dream visits, if I can, is to visit Glastonbury, go to the tour,
I
and
have to
do
do
the
that.
walk.
Yeah, and I go to England quite a bit. My brother lives in Nottingham, so
Oh,
I try to go at least every other year, but, Yeah, so I'll
Oh,
probably go for another
beautiful.
month, but, this winter, but, um, you know, we went to the Lake District where a lot of that was set, and, um, up there, and it's quite lovely. Just
It's really
beautiful.
beautiful. And people
Yeah,
don't realize, they said, well, if that's the Taurus Avalon, where's the water that's supposed to be surrounding it? But people don't realize, before the advent of full Christianity taking over, that used to be all water
yeah,
that surrounded the Tor. And when the monks came in, they started setting off and creating ditches to help with. And Tyler is telling us his story too. He agrees. Thank you, Tyler.
he is our guardian. Yeah,
Yes.
he always watches. He's a healer too. He watches everything and everybody.
Yep.
But
Beautiful. And
yeah,
so they diverged the water so for farming and things. But yeah, that whole area used to be um, you know, underwater. So
yeah, yeah. I
oh, the
really want to
Morgan,
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Morgan, that she's, if you're not really, how do I say this? If you are not dedicated, you know, for the tasks that she has for you, they say do not call on her. And yes, she's got quite a heft with her, her powers and things and stuff. I mean, if you dedicate yourself or you're willing to work with her, you better be prepared,
yeah.
to follow through. But she's
Yeah.
an amazing goddess, warrior goddess too. Yes, with
People
that.
say this about Sekhmet and
Hmm.
also about Kali.
Yes,
Yeah. So yeah, does that warrior?
Hecate too. She's the goddess of the crossroads.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I
her
love
power.
that. I love a strong woman. I've got a lot of friends in my
Hmm.
life that are very strong.
Yes.
I have no problem with
And
that.
what a lot of people don't realize, or maybe they do because they saw some of my videos, but when I was in college, I actually took a class called Women in Religion. And I wanted to see, I was like, oh, I want to take this because I was just getting into um, Wicca, witchcraft, the goddess movement, learning about all these alternative, especially feminine based or balanced, spiritualities, because I was raised Catholic and I did have that. And so I thought, well, this will be an interesting class. Comes to find out that it's taught by a Catholic nun. She's probably long gone now, but she was a doctor. She had a doctorate. She was a doctor, and she wrote the book too for her class. And she actually showed us, well, first of all, the first lessons that we learned was about Wicca. She taught us about goddess worship. Did the history. And let me tell you, a lot of them kids in that class were not too happy um, with her for that. Um, and she also went through every major patriarchal religion and showed how women were treated, how they were perceived. And she did no holds barred. She showed everything. And then the other part of the book were women who were a part of those different patriarchal sects, going through and showing what they loved about their religion, what they loved about their faith, and what they wanted to bring forward that was positive. And some women trying, even back then, and this is going to like 96, 97, trying to start moving forward and trying to um, uplift the position of women, in their particular religion that they were raised in. And I stopped her after class one day and I said, I go, Dr. Ferguson, I hope you don't mind me asking. I says, but you're a Catholic nun. Aren't you supposed to be trying to convert us to Catholicism? I mean, you're teaching us about goddess worship and Wicca. And she goes, and she said that everybody's path to God is different. And she goes, and if I helped someone find their true path, their true spiritual path, she goes, then I've done my job on this earth. And I was like, you know,
She was brilliant. Yeah, that's
yes.
amazing. That's
So
it. Sounds like she had a real um, not stamp, but a formative uh, part of your
yes.
learning knowledge.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It was amazing, and for her age at that time, she was from the generation where rulers and strictness and even abuse,
yeah,
and yet she chose to, and of course being Franciscan, I said, of course, Saint Francis, the saint of animals, who loved animals. So that was
yeah.
even more special, to me.
St. Francis of Assisi. Yeah, yeah. Um, we've got a Catholic school here. It's a high school now, but it used to be a college, and it's for women. Or yeah, it's all girls school, whatever, all women, young women school. But for years, the nuns would go into the chapel, and wherever it said God, they'd write in goddess. So
Oh,
there's a lot of
nice.
orders that are kind of cantankerous. Have some fun. Yeah,
And what's really, not I say funny, but people don't realize, especially in Catholic tradition, if you're a Catholic, is that a lot of, or almost all of, deity, ritual, everything is all based on the early pagan people, the lighting the candles and saying a prayer, and people didn't realize, reciting prayers is basically spell work because you're getting yourself into a state of mind where you want to, you want to create change, you want to create something for the better, whether it's protection, health, or whatever. People just don't realize, the incense, I mean, it's all you know based on, the early pagan peoples. So,
yeah. It's
you know
also very
yeah.
similar to Buddhist temples, with the chanting and
Mm-hmm.
108 um, beads in a mala, 108 beads in a what is it called?
The rosary.
Rosary. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Rosary. Yeah. Couldn't
Yeah.
remember that. So my dad was Catholic, my mom was Jewish, but she had been in the Holocaust, so we didn't talk about Judaism. But they have um, she studied metaphysics. So it was kind of a nice balance because, like, we'd go to Catholic schools and then she would come home and school us up on metaphysics. So, right, Fatima, religion cannot be forced. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
That's true. I see. In different
yeah,
religions, yeah.
yeah.
When I The first time because I lived briefly in Massachusetts with a friend, and I was only about maybe a 15-20 minute drive from Salem. And when
Wow.
I was first there, I went to this one shop and I was talking to her about, me being, still learning, and my, be raised Catholic and having my interest now in Native American spirituality, while learning about Wicca and paganism and different, shamanic, practices. And she, it was so beautiful. She says, well, think of, she goes, of a wheel. She goes, and the spoke in the middle is all that is. She goes, great spirit, God, goddess, both, however you see spirit. And all these little spokes, she said, all lead to the center. And she goes, so that's all of us, all these different ways of connection to spirit and to God. For all those little posts, and when we all come together in the middle, is what holds the wheel together and is the center of all that is. And so no one's path is wrong. I mean, of course, she goes, you don't want a path where you harm yourself or hurt others in any of that way, because, you're faced with the light, there's going to be the dark. But she goes, that's the beauty. That's how she explained to me on that spoken. I'll never forget that. That was really cool.
That is so beautiful. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, Nothing was ever truly pagan. It was all First Nations people's traditions.
Can you tell I do not like that word pagan? Well, Lori, there were people, in Europe and stuff. They were known as the early pagans. So they're, I don't know. That would be an interesting conversation topic. But for me, I was, especially with the word pagan, is mostly my Celtic background. With the Irish, the Celtic, the Germanic, the Slavic. So for me, I was, raised in, learning about, doing magic work and connecting with nature. And even the early Celtic shamanic people, even though their deities or the way they saw themselves were different, it's all like again, like that spoke, it's all leads to the same. So it's not meant as a derogatory whatsoever. So Lori, do you mind me asking, are you a First Nations person?
Yeah.
Um, oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah.
So I like to learn in, different people's opinions. And I love the fact that she can share that and everybody in chat stays respectful.
Yeah. Right.
This
Yeah.
is where I like to be able to foster open communication where people can share their feelings, their beliefs, their truths, but do it in a very respectful manner and a non-condescending manner. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful. That's why hashtag best chatters, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Yeah. I learned so much from everybody here.
there is truth to gain from all beliefs, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's what my mom always said too when we'd go to church. She'd say, I'd say, "Oh,
right.
I don't wanna listen to that priest," and because he was
Hmm.
mean and cantankerous. But she said,
Yeah.
"You can get something good out of everything." So,
Oh, I see. That's why she doesn't like it. Understand?
oh, judgment, condemnation.
It
Oh,
has a lot
okay.
to
Boy.
where we were grown, we were raised, language that was used at us. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of healing that really needs to take place, and that was very traumatic for her, and we all experience traumas differently, and that's again, like I said, we can share how we feel, what we've been through, and know that this is a place where no judgment's going to be made. That we hold space,
yeah.
holding your space. Another reason why I love the perfect segue why I love your title of your channel is because a lot of times that's what I love to do with my channel, especially if I have a certain theme that I start with for a show, but then somebody may need a certain something in the chat, and then it's like, okay, let's flow, let spirit guide us and see where it takes us.
Yeah.
So
Um, yeah, right? It's interesting, and it's, when we look at this,
thank you, Steve.
epigenetics and the way that the epigenetics are formed, like our ancestral, not just ancestral karma, but ancestral biology, our
Hmm.
physical form. Then when chaos happens, like if if your family was um, First Nation and been through the Trail of Tears and ancestors that had been annihilated, and, genocide all over the world, right?
Hmm.
um, from um, the concentration camps and all sorts of things, and or your mother's village was, or great grandmother's village was trampled by Attila the Hun or somebody. You've got that built into your gene pool. So then when we see things happening like wars and
Hmm.
atrocities, it does hurt us in a different way than other people.
Hmm.
It does affect us in a different way. So it's good
Beautiful.
to be aware.
And during the fall, this time is a good time to be able to work and work, kind of like face. And people say when you say shadow, I love the fact that shadow work is becoming more. Um, what's the word? It's becoming more. I hate using the word mainstream, but it's becoming, because sometimes when something becomes mainstream, that it loses its original intent and
Yeah.
purpose behind it. But really, with shadow work, people when they first initially hear it, they're all about the bad. It's all about, but people don't realize our shadow. We can't have our light, you know, without the shadow, because this is how we learn, and we grow and we evolve, whether it's spiritually, physically, mentally, it's and now ancestrally, because I've had people tell me, well, when you heal certain aspects of yourself, not only are you healing yourself at that moment, but if you put that intent for that to go back as far as possible through the generations, to add that energy to that healing to your past generations, so that even though time is relative and people say, sometimes the past is really actually now, which it really is. If you think about, the future is always happening at any moment, and the past is always happening at any moment. um, but for our ancestors and that time lineage, a lot of us can focus on healing those different aspects of our family and that pain. um, it all ripples out, and it just becomes this. It's almost like you can see this light wave just wash right through and try to cleanse as much of the past as possible, not washing away and ignoring all the atrocities that have happened, or the pain, or the traumas that have happened, but looking back and honoring, our ancestors and those people that came before us, because they didn't know anything. It was just their normalcy back then. And then trying to, hopefully by doing that, you have that beautiful, I don't want to say rebound, but you have a starting point then, where maybe future generations will be able to, carry forward and maybe help delete that in the genetics, if that makes sense, spiritually, so that as future generations through your family and other families come through, that, that trauma from the past is lessened, and that
That's
they're in
right.
more of a place where, they can perceive the world. And a lot of these young people that are coming in, um, are just incredible. You see it in their
Oh,
eyes, the way they speak.
yeah.
Memories, more of them are having past life memories, where they can understand what happened to them, and bring it into their adulthood, what they want to do, the knowledge that they have from that, to be able to move forward to help other people. It's just amazing, how different people can process. um,
And I love that you're talking about this, Heather, because it's so important. And I feel like going back and healing. A lot of times when I'm doing a healing for ancestors, we go back and we look at what happened, and at that time and point, they did not have, like you said, they did not have the skills to work with that. Either they were a child and they didn't have the skills, or we were children and we didn't have the skills to say no, or
mhm,
what we needed to say, or perhaps an ancestor didn't have the heal. And once you give them counseling there in light, it does change
mhm,
everything, and it changes your body, it changes the body of your descendants. I mean, it's crucial, and I think that's what light workers are here to do.
yeah.
All of us.
So there was something. There's I've been starring comments as we've been going along, because people are
Mhm.
sharing a lot of beautiful thoughts and
Oh,
feelings and wisdom. And before Sylvia took off, she had asked about this question: do you feel that people will shift in consciousness, and that we will not worry? I, you know, it's really hard for this area. And I know there's going to be a lot of areas naturally in the world where the energies just wasn't. For me, my understanding or belief about the spirit world and locations on the planet, there are some areas where energy has never been a healthy energy. There are going to be beings and entities that are not of the light, and not all entities of the dark are bad either. So we really have to start looking past the labels of what is light, what is dark, what is good, what is bad. But there are some, entities or energies in certain areas of the world where, just I think helps create that. It just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I hate when my brain totally goes on a just blanks out on me. But it's like the perfect storm kind of like idea, where, and then if you have certain people coming in, they feed off of that and expands. For where I'm at, because of I don't live far from a place called Love Canal. I think a lot of people remember, especially my age, what Love Canal was.
yeah.
I'm only about maybe 5 minutes. It's just down the couple of blocks down from where I'm at. And about not even 10 years ago, they found more toxics
Oh,
behind
I'm
across
sorry.
down and over by where I was living. And we received a message from the EPA. So you have the toxins, this waste that, humans are putting into the land. And remember, people, I'm in Niagara Falls. This is one of the most beautiful places in the world. And when they show you on the news, they don't show you anything past the falls or the casino. The amount of corruption, this energy is just building and building. And we're by the fort. So we were, the area where, the wars, between, Canada and America, and then the French, we have all of those forts, that are near us where there was just a lot of battles and a lot of lives lost. And so you have that already energy in the land. You have, the toxins that we're putting here, and with the way, government socioeconomics, you know filtering in now, and just making keeping the city pretty much poor. It's bringing in the gang violence, and it's so sad when I see these young people having children and they're barely age enough to be able to really understand or be able to handle having children, but they're following, and then the anger and the abuse they show to their kids, a lot of it in public, because they don't know any better, because it's been one generation after the other. And it's just so, Sylvia, I don't know if they do. It's going to take a lot of people coming together here, and between the governments and the gangs, it's making it really hard for people who love this area, who truly love the energy of the falls, to be able to overcome this. Even, I have some native friends here, who still thrive to try to, with their art, and to do, there's an arts and cultural center up here near me where they try to have kids, teach kids arts and crafts. And they have their underground railroad that we're a part of up here. They have a display there. They have
It's beautiful.
celebrations. My friend Jill runs the Talking Women's Talking Circle, every March, and the
Mhm.
prayer feather gets passed around to each woman, and she embraces all women to come from all different cultures. Um, I mean, it's just there's so many here really working to bring that light to this area, but it's so hard when it's this much light here and there's this much coming down. So I really don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
Ron,
different areas are gonna be, like, I think, this is my thought on it, is that, different areas of the country eventually will be like-minded, and people are gonna migrate, just like they'll migrate for climate, they'll migrate for, um, beliefs and what you want to be, what kind of relationship you wanna have. Before, it will all be, like-minded, that will come into that divine, area, that 5th dimension. But I think we're already in that 5th dimension, a lot of us. We're already living in our light. Not all the time, obviously, because the rest of the world
because we're
around us is
human.
yeah, we're having a human
We're
experience.
still, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
that balance, that temperance.
yeah, but in meditation and, when you're performing your art, whatever it is, if it's painting or walking or gardening, yeah,
For the first of the new world to be just wow. I'm
yeah,
sorry, Rossi, Hosanna.
sorry.
And
Yeah,
Annie mentioned that there's a power. I forgive everyone who has hurt me on purpose. Wait a minute, or wait a minute. There was something else that she didn't. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find the rest of it. I forgive myself for anyone I have hurt on purpose or not on purpose since the beginning of my time here to now. Wow, that's beautiful.
that is
Yeah,
beautiful,
JJ
Annie.
has a lot of beautiful prayers and messages, and I just
Yeah.
love when she speaks her light language.
Yeah, it's beautiful, really beautiful. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, hello, hello, Liz. Thank you for being here. I
Hi,
just want to
Liz.
trying to make sure that I can accommodate. And Lori says we have 5 greats back Comanche grandmother. There are also old family stories about having ancestors in the Caddo Hasinai tribes. Well, and a lot of these tribes you don't even hear anymore because they were eradicated. You know, um,
Yeah,
it's sad and unfortunate. And even Fatima said she moved to different churches. She kept moving, so that she could find a church that was more inclusive and not so judgmental. So, and yes, I still call on St. Anthony when I can't find something.
I do too. I do too, Fatima.
And we
Yeah.
also just had Holly. Hello, Holly.
Hey,
Thank you
Holly.
for joining us. And I love the falls. Yes, me too. I've only been there a couple times, and I've been here for just over 13 years because I don't feel safe going down there anymore.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm sorry.
when people come here, I tell them to make sure to take the main scenic route in. And if you need to go for gas, do not go, because we've had some tourists robbed at the gas stations, and there are
Oh,
sometimes people in the park, that will attempt. So it's just make sure stay together. It's not to put fear, but enjoy, but just very very mindful of where you are when you're driving. So,
that's so
um,
sad. Yeah, that's
and I
tough.
like this. Sometimes we need to hear the same truths more than once for them to sink in.
Well, if you listen to a lot of the teachers out there, Eckhart, Deepak, Sadhguru, I mean, so many of them, they are all saying the same thing, and they've been saying the same thing for 30 years, and it each time it sounds a little different. Each time it clicks a little more inside my brain. But
And
yeah,
this is the perfect time of year again, letting go.
yeah,
Letting go of people in your life that no longer serve you, letting go of, things that we say to ourselves that we know are not healthy to say to ourselves. And also, in the same breath, being able to forgive ourselves when we do think those, because again, we're human, and, you know, letting go of toxic beliefs, people creating healthy boundaries, and with the veils. Now, some people say the veils really aren't the thinnest at this time of year. Some people I have heard recently, I can't remember what chats. This is why our community has grown so much. And this is fascinating. Some of the conversations that I see that are held in the chats. Someone made a suggestion one day and said maybe it's not necessarily the veils are thinning at certain times, but it's us as we elevate or we develop our abilities that is, what's causing the more of the connection to the spirit world, and not necessarily because it's a time where the energies are easiest. What do you think about that?
yeah. I feel
Because
like
you're a medium, correct? You're a medium.
I'm intuitive medium. I do
Medium.
channeling. Yeah. Um, so I feel like it's the veils are thinning because we're aware. It's all about awareness. And being aware of those toxic energies and toxic friendships and putting them where they belong to be. Like maybe it's somebody that you love in your family and it's not healthy for you. And you just do, Thanksgiving and Christmas with them or whatever it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not that daily call that you used to do. So there's a lot of ways that you can look at that, but also being aware of the pain and the suffering. But when you look at it with awareness and love, you can still feel the pain, you can feel the anger, and not to, you know, push that down, to go ahead and but look at it with awareness.
Hi, Kristen.
So watch it.
Mhm. And Michelle popped in and she says this is clip season is all about shadow work and
Yeah.
letting go of, you know, people that no longer are healthy for you, or even, sometimes people's energies, their frequencies change, and sometimes, like you said, you have to keep them at a distance. You can still love
Yeah.
them,
Love
you
them where
know.
they're at. I mean,
Yes,
that's
exactly.
huge, is loving somebody where they're at. I've got old friends that I broke up with. I broke up with, and it was like it was
Mhm.
huge. It was like going through a divorce. It was so painful. But now they're back in my life, at a distance, and I love them where they're at. But I love
Mhm.
what Annie said, what JJ had said about forgiving
Yes.
everyone and asking everybody to forgive us.
Mhm.
And I never pronounced this properly, but the Ho'onokipo prayer where you say, "I love you."
Ho'oponopono. It's really interesting. Yes, I know
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, "I love you. Please
Mhm.
forgive me. I
Me.
forgive you. Thank you." And anything that you end
That's
with
powerful.
grace,
Mhm.
yeah, is gonna elevate it.
And I have somebody new in my chat. Hello, Julie, learning to listen. She says,
Hey,
"Oh, perfect
Julie.
topic." Oh, okay.
Yeah, Julie
Well,
has a new, channel out too. Amazing channel.
oh, okay. So everybody, make sure to check out Julie's channel. Another one to the community. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
And Holly is like, yes, each of us carry different burdens. And Kristen Louise had joined in also as we were sharing. She has her own. Okay, I think we might be referring to
To Julie.
Julie's. Yeah,
Yeah.
working on it, kids.
Hey,
And
Teresa.
hi, Teresa. I don't
Anyone
need to
else
change the subject.
feeling the timeline skip? Yep, Teresa.
I don't think I
I've
have. I'm not. I don't even know if I really understand um, the concept, but for me, I don't think so. Unless I just need to have a better understanding. Did you want to go ahead and answer that one? And I can learn something new today too.
Sure. So the timelines, obviously, there's no time or space, but
Gotcha.
if you look at different dimensions, and the dimensions are kind of charging together, like two of those little, what are they called? Not nebulae, but the little things that move through space and weigh like as much as Mount Everest, but they're fit on a teaspoon. Anyway,
Wow.
um, as these move through, we're some of the timelines are jumping because we're moving into different dimensions, and a lot of us are already. Um, if you're here, then you're already working in the light. You're already working on that, and you're already raising your vibration enough that you might notice that you'll look at the clock, and all of a sudden you've lost a half an hour. You've gained a half an hour. Yeah, time slows down sometimes, and then sometimes it skips ahead, like, "Oh my god, what happened to that hour? It's
Wow.
gone." Yeah, yeah, and sometimes you're even
Really? Wow.
yeah,
I'm
so
not there yet.
sometimes you'll have more synchronicities right now, and the synchronicities will be like, "Well, I just did this last week. I did this same thing. I drove down this same road, and I remember this car
Deja
right
vu.
there." Yeah,
For me, I think it's
yeah,
dreams. So I'll be like, what? Did I dream this? So for me, it's like a deja vu. Gotcha.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, kissing and touching, and sometimes when they
huh.
pop, like, if you hear something pop or kind of explode, it'll
Well, this is
pop
interesting. This is
periodically.
new to me. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes you'll blow out a light bulb. I've done that before in my house. An electronic will burst, or sometimes you'll just get that kiss. It'll be softer.
Mm, not political, but wondering what the full moon means to our spiritual community. Did you want to go ahead and answer that first?
Oh,
Your
sure.
experiences of the full moon? Well, I like
My
having my guests go first. I try to make sure that I don't.
So, for me, it's about letting go, when you have a full moon, about
Mhm.
releasing, and the new moon is usually, for me, a time to, move ahead, but full moons are really nice to, I have a bucket, and I put my pain and suffering. If I'm crying, I put my Kleenex in it, or if I have old things that I wanna get rid of, I'll put in there. Like I'll write a letter about something that hurt me or angered me, and I'll get it out, and then I do a burn on a full moon. So
Nice. Beautiful little tiny rituals that we can do. You
yeah,
know, when I
yeah,
was little and I didn't really know what was going on, sometimes I would just hold on to stones if I was by the water. If my dad was fishing or we were by the water or something. I remember just holding on to stones and then just feeling these emotions and then just like I just had to throw the stone, and to release. So all different ways of
that's
however
beautiful.
it's best to release. Yes,
Yeah.
for full moons. I'm not sure what the full moon's going to be in because I do a full moon show with Ivana Intuitive
Oh, nice.
once a month. And her and I used to do new and full moons, but now Ivana and I are going to be doing the full moon in Hershey, the shadow reader, because of the new moons and working with, releasing things that no longer serve, starting planting new seeds, things being in the dark and being able to grow and to acknowledge certain things that we may need to work on, starting at the new moon and culminating to the full moon to fully release. She's going to be joining me when she can for the new moon. So it's just a perfect pairing. I really love it.
That's great.
Yeah, I love crescent moons too, Annie Bear.
Yeah.
And hello, Kelly.
Hey,
Nice to
Kelly.
see you. Thank you
How
for
are you?
popping in and
Beautiful.
joining us. So we're at 4 o'clock. I think we had. Do you want to talk about anything else, or do you want to do maybe a collective for letting go? What we maybe need to let go of at least this week, moving into the weekend.
Sure.
All righty,
Doing collective?
let's
Are
do
we
a
are we
collective.
are we doing cards or are we doing
However you want to do it. I have cards, so
okay.
I'm just going to see which one falls to me, or maybe a couple.
Yeah, there you go.
Because
There
you
you
never
go.
know. They're all wanting to come to the party. They don't want to be left out. Oh,
Cosmic Orphan is so busy. Thank you so much.
yes.
You've just been
He's a
amazing.
fabulous mod. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. Here, I'm going to pull another one. And thank you again, everybody, for joining Terry and I this afternoon. Wonderful conversations. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your feelings and your insights and your experiences with us. It's not easy to be vulnerable, you know, and to share your stories and your feelings. So um,
Yeah.
much appreciated for allowing us to hold the space. Perfect name.
Yeah. So right now is a beautiful time to manifest, right? I think until the 28th. I mean, it's always a good time to manifest,
Hmm.
but the stars are really holding space for us right now. So we get Yamea. I'm pulling these
I'm going to
goddess
put,
cards.
yes, I got to put that up. Those are beautiful.
Oh, thanks. And so it's time to
Yes,
give
yes.
birth. And this has such beautiful energy to it, working in the healing waters as well. So letting go, but also birthing. So it's a beautiful time to start something new, manifest something, say your I ams, and feel that beautiful womb within us, and how we're getting ready to you know bring something forward. Then I get Gong Gong Sarah. So resistance is there something inside that no longer serves us, and we've been talking about this. Heather's been talking about it a
Mhm.
lot. Um, that there's all these things inside us, and a lot of times it's going to be, I feel, the inner voice. So our throat chakra, the things that we say to ourselves, hearing ourselves. What do we hear ourselves saying? So letting go of that and feeling that um, everything that's sorry, everything there that we've been saying to ourselves, is it in our own best interest? Are we being our own best authentic selves? And then you get the Queen of Sheba, which I love. So
Ooh,
this is secrets revealed. So here she is sitting meditating, right, on her beautiful robes and pillows, and feeling yourself. Um, what your secrets are when you get into your authentic self and you get rid of all those
ooh,
constructs that um, the media and the news give you, and you
yeah,
find out what you really want.
exactly. Beautiful. Thank you, my dear.
Yeah.
So I had was only going to pull one card, but three wanted to come out of this one. Here's my Healing Heart Oracle.
Oh, they're
Um,
beautiful.
I have the first one that comes up is the Betrayed Heart. So this has to do with hearts that have felt like they have been hurt in the past. They've been betrayed. Who, who, who? Yeah, I can't even say it right. Who of us haven't been? On so many levels. And this card here's a reminder that even though our hearts have been betrayed, it says risk opening up to life and love and not to shut ourselves down. So releasing, if you've had any feelings of like betrayal, whether it's personal to you and your, personal happening to you from somebody in your inner circle, outer circle, or even, within the country or global, if there you feel like there's a sense of betrayal and you want to shut your heart down, is letting you know that not to do that. There are people that are deserving of knowing what your true beautiful heart is, who your true authentic self is, and not to shut yourself down from these beautiful souls who want to be with you. Next one I have is the prospering heart. And it says, look for beauty, abundance, and generosity. So, with all those things moving into the weekend, look for everything that, even though looking back on the week and finding those little things that made you feel abundant, like maybe finding an extra couple bucks in your pocket, or somebody helping you out at the grocery store, someone even smiling and saying hi to you, different little things that made us feel good, put a smile on our face, and even maybe keeping a gratitude journal to help us when we have these moments. Next one I have is the knowing heart. Heed your intuition. So with this week moving into the weekend next week, and oh boy, my left ear just started ringing. Oh, okay. Um, don't know what that's about. It says here, heed your intuition. So moving into the weekend, I love it. It almost looks like she's like a statue coming to life, leaving the. She's got the beautiful
Beautiful.
foundation. The huh?
She's so beautiful.
Yes, and it almost makes me feels like she's like a horse too, like a horse leaping, and
Ah,
so it's that beautiful energy of just jumping forward. Um, the heart is just there leading her, guiding her. So let your hearts guide you moving into the weekend, letting go behind anything that might hold you down. This is actually water beneath this little island that she's standing on. So this week, letting go of anything that no longer served you or that hurt you, or just is not your stuff, the dramas, whatever it is, just giving it to water. Maybe even taking a nice purifying bath, going into the weekend and just detoxing and letting all that energy out. And one card did want to come from the healing your light oracle, and it says to get grounded. So this is for empaths, highly sensitives, and to connect with nature. So whatever we had to
wow.
let go of this past week that no longer, serves us for our highest good, this weekend, getting out to nature if possible, or even if it's, bad weather, getting inside and meditating briefly, listening to music, doing art, doing whatever it is that makes you feel grounded and connected to Mother Earth and to yourself. And just allow that beautiful energy, that light to come through. And there goes my ear again.
Those are beautiful cards. Somebody was
Yeah.
asking, Rossi was asking, what is that deck,
This
Heather?
deck is
The
Healing
Healing Heart. I'm gonna write
Oracle.
that down too. Those are beautiful
And these are
cards.
two well-known individuals. Ina Segal is the one that does the secret language of color, and the artist is Jenna Della Gritalia, who has been the main artist for Colette Baron Reed's decks, except for
I
the
love the
last one.
cards.
But she's been, the artist, and she also helped write some of the book as well. So it's her
Wow,
artwork. It's a new collaboration. So yeah, it's really
beautiful.
beautiful, and the artwork for
Oh
these
my gosh.
cards.
Yeah,
I mean, look at that.
just
Isn't
stunning.
that beautiful? Yeah. And of course,
Really
this is
stunning.
my favorite one out of the whole deck. The artist painting her painting, and she's got the dark hair. Well, it's typically dark, but I gotta call it. But yeah, but yet I just absolutely I love this deck, and it was actually a gift. I was given it was
Oh,
gifted through Amazon. So, um, beautiful, beautiful gift.
that is so sweet. Those are
Mhm.
beautiful. Beautiful.
And another new deck that I have is that's lovely. And of course, like Gerald always says, um, purchase responsibly, know your limits. Is the Witch Oracle, and it says woman in total control of herself.
Ooh, yeah. You know it.
And the book is just, and the colors. The book is all in color. It's glossy. It's just beautifully
That
done.
is beautiful.
These are the backs, and this is one of my favorites. I love butterflies, so I had
Oh
to
my
shift that one.
gosh. What's the name
So
of that one?
it's called Witch.
Which
Woman in total control of herself.
yeah, I think maybe
Yes.
Gerald used that the other day too.
And
Those
it's
are
by Nancy
amazing.
Sullins and art by Silas DeBale. So yeah, and a lot of
No,
it's taken art from like over, like pre-Raphael, like kind of early 20th century. So, and of course that's, like I said again, past life probably in those time periods. So I'm just really attracted to that art. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So going into the weekend, just enjoy each other, your family, yourself.
Hmm.
Let go of your worries from the week. Enjoy the beautiful fall weather while you still can. And before we wrap up, Terry, do you have anything coming up on your channel you would like to share?
Yeah, we've got some good shows coming up. We have Reverend Saul's going to be on. Yeah,
Sale.
responsibly, right? So Reverend Saul's going to be on tomorrow at noon. And then I've got Joan of Angels coming, Paul Rudy, who is the priest of sound. He's a sound healer and has a farm, Harmony Farms, that is a spiritual place. It has labyrinth and all sorts of
Oh, I
stuff.
like that.
Yeah, interesting people.
Beautiful. And Steven said now his ears are ringing.
Right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm making sure I did not miss any comments. Angels singing into Heather's ear. I don't know. Double
Angels are
header,
ringing you. They're
maybe.
calling.
Maybe. I've been getting a lot of that lately. Okay, Annie, go take a nap. I might too this afternoon before my show tonight.
Yeah, take
Sounds
care of
good to
yourself.
me. And for myself, I have Gerald, Tarot Stash, is going to be joining Alice and I for some fun tonight. It's Get Your Spook On. This is for our Friday night sidekicks show that Allison and I do. And we're going to, because it was so interesting when Jackie's Crystal Moon was with me on Tuesday, we were reading on the Titanic, the conspiracies and some of the myths and things that have been surrounding it with it sinking. Somebody had asked in chat, well, what do you think about this location? And Allison was like, well, maybe we can look at that and read that on Friday. And then later on that day, I was like, you know what? Let's do that for Friday. If anybody has a location, we can maybe pull a few cards on, see what we get, share about stories about where we grew up, if we had any experience with the paranormal. So something for fun. So
Nice.
we'll be doing that at 8 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time. And I just bought that one.
Nice,
So
Julie.
yeah, I think the which one, yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. So again, everybody, thank you for joining Terry and I. We'll see you on one of our next lives and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.
Bye, everybody.